Hello, Lynn Summers is my name and I'm the Director of Stock Course. I'm a licensed financial advisor, and over the next half an hour I'd like to share with you an amazing strategy that if you're currently holding shares in your portfolio, and hey, our super funds are sitting there, aren't they, holding a lot of shares. Well, how would you like to learn how to generate an income off those shares every single month? Over the next half an hour, I'm going to show you the possibilities of how you can take control now of your own self-managed super funds and get that cash generated. Get those shares now earning you a monthly income. How? By using options. Options are a fantastic way to utilise as a tool, as I said, to earn your shares, for your shares to earn you an income every single month. So let me talk a little bit about what options are. Options, you know, in the share market we have shares, we can trade stock, we can also trade options. It is another part of the stock market. They are called equity options. Now, to explain what an option is, you see, with options, you can buy them and you can also sell them, depending on the strategy that we're implementing. Today I'm going to show you how you can buy and both sell an option to earn yourself an income off the shares that you are currently holding. When we buy these options, it's a little bit like, let me explain it, like a lay-by. And hey, you girls will understand. If we go out shopping and we see that lovely dress that we would like to purchase, but we don't quite have the money to pay for it there and then, well, we put a lay-by down, we put a deposit down, don't we? And maybe over the next 2 to 3 weeks we come back, pay the rest of the dress off and pick the dress up. Well, the stock market works the same, where we can put a deposit down on a parcel of shares and lock in today's prices for some time in the future, just like a lay-by. So for a small amount of money, we can take advantage of a large movement in those stock prices. Now, the two differences, I trade both the US market and the Australian market. The two differences I'll explain here is, if we're to do this strategy in Australia, we must have 1,000 shares first. In the US, we only need to own 100 shares. So they're the two differences. And of course, we can, when the market's going up with these options, well, we buy call options and we sell put options. They're the two types, calls and puts. When the market's coming down, well, we sell call options and we buy these put options. So can you see, it depends on now where the market's headed, which direction is the market going in, because until we can understand that, then we don't know which strategy is going to be working for us. So let me explain the definition of buying a call option. A call option is, now listen to the terminology here, because it's very important to start to understand some of the language in the stock market. A call option is the right, but not the obligation. Now that's very important. So you have choices when we buy call options. When we lay by that stock, when we go and lay by that dress, we have a choice. We put a deposit down, we have a choice with coming back with the balance and picking it up. If we don't come back and pick it up, then we forfeit our deposit, don't we? So we have a choice. So when you liken it to that lay-by, the most that we can lose is our deposit, what we've put down. So let me show you physically on a chart. And at the moment, gold is a commodity that is taking off into all new time highs. And you'll get to understand this when you join me on my webinars week to week. To understand what's happening out there in the economy is the edge for you to know where to invest in. Now at the moment we can see that gold in particular has broken out of what we call an all-time resistance over the last couple of years. Gold's been hitting that 1,000 an ounce, and it's actually hit it 3 times over the last 12 months. Every time gold rallied from down 7 to 750 an ounce, and it rallied to 1,000, It never broke past, so it retraced back again to 750. What has currently just happened with gold, it's now broken out of 1,000 an ounce, meaning that now it's going to use 1,000 as support. Where will gold go into the future? Well, when we put all the pieces together with what is happening over in the US market and the falling, crashing US dollar, gold's got nowhere to go but up. Maybe by the end of the year we could see gold as high as 1,300. A lot of the economists are predicting that gold could go as high as 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 over the next 12 months. When you understand what's pushing gold, you can see it on a chart. This is part of our technical analysis that we go through, because our technicals, see, there's two parts to trading. It is not only our fundamentals but our technicals, our charting. Our charting will give us buy and sell signals, when to get in and when to get out. And technically with gold, it's given us a buy signal. So gold's at $1,000 an ounce. That's a lot of money, even just to go out and buy 100 shares. That's going to cost us how much? 1,000. 100,000 for 1,000 shares. Well, we've got to have a lot of money, don't we? So we can go out now and lay-buy gold at today's prices. Lay-buy it at $1,000 where it's trading at for the next 12 months. We put down a deposit. Remember that lay-buy? A 10% deposit. So we go out and we put down $100. We have the right now to buy gold at 1,000. Let's say gold goes all the way to 1,300 in the next 6 months, and we have a 12-month lay-buy. We have the right to buy it at 1,000 when it's trading at 1,300. So what do? Our lay-buy becomes valuable now. Our lay-buy becomes very valuable. That lay-buy we can on-sell into the market for what it's worth. It'll be worth $300. So what cost us 100 is now turned into 3. Now, if we multiply the numbers, imagine investing instead of 100, imagine investing $1,000. And you've just turned 1,000 into 3,000. Do you imagine if gold went to 2,000, what that lay-buy would be worth? Now can you see how people using options can make a lot of money with a small amount invested? Locking in today's prices for some time in the future. But you have to know, obviously you have to know where gold's going in the future. So the same thing when we do this and we invest in different individual stocks, then we have to have some idea of what those individual stocks are doing in the future. The next option I want to talk about, these are called put options. Now, we can buy a put option as well. Let me explain the two differences. Is when we buy these calls and puts, there's a terminology in the market that you are not obligated. So if we go out and buy a put option, that gives us the right now to put our stock to somebody else at a set price, on or before an expiry date. Remember, these lay-bys have a time frame. So we have the right, but not the obligation. This is another way of using these put options as insurance. So if you're currently holding stock in your portfolios, did you know that you can go out and buy insurance on your stock to insure them at the price that they're trading at for a certain amount of time? It's called insurance. People also use these insurance as straight out just buying these insurance put options to profit from a falling stock. And if anybody knows anything about the stock market, the market falls quicker than it ever goes up. So you'll make twice as much money with a put option in a falling market than you will in a rising market. Let me show you how they worked with an example of, remember the two biggest mortgage companies in the US that went bankrupt? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. On a chart here you can see Fannie Mae went from $70 down to 40 cents a share.